What's going on, world? It's me, Andre Cat, here from West Palm Beach, Florida. In this video, I'm going to talk about a perfect trade setup that you can find every single day or every other day when it comes to trading futures. Now, you can trade futures or forex; it doesn't matter. You can literally use the same strategy for anything, really. But before I dive into this trade that I'm about to show you, if you guys want to be able to copy my trades automatically over to your account hands free for a limited time only, I'm allowing people to copy my trades for free for 30 days. So basically, for 30 days, you'll be able to copy my futures trades automatically over to your account. And after 30 days, you like the results that you're getting and you want to continue to copy my trades automatically over to your account, it's just a one-time fee of $500, and you'll be able to copy my trades for life. Okay. Now let's dive into this real quick because I don't want to make this video too long. Now, right now, I'm currently looking at NQ, the Nasdaq, Nas 100, and what I like to do before I, do anything, I like to figure out what type of market structure we're creating. So, what I would do is I would go to the weekly, right, to see what type of structure we're creating. All right. In this case, we're creating higher highs and higher lows on the weekly, and then on the daily here, we're creating higher highs, higher lows, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. You get the picture, higher high. So the daily is telling me that we're creating a bullish trend, okay? And then on the 4 hour, very, very, very important. I like to look at the 4 hour because when it comes to trading futures, um, I'm looking for day trades, all right? I'm not looking for swing trades, but I'm looking for day trades. So the 4 hour is the time frame that I like to look at the most. But I also look at the weekly, the daily to also confirm the long term trend. Okay, so the 4 hour is definitely bullish. Okay, as you can see, we're creating higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Okay, we're creating higher highs and higher lows on the 4 hour. So the weekly, the daily, and the 4 hour is telling me that we should be buying. We shouldn't be looking for sales. Okay, so that's why I like to look at the higher time frames because it gives me an overall picture of what type of market structure we're creating. Okay, and then after that, I like to go to the 1 hour and I like to draw my U.S. session highs and lows. Okay, so yesterday's highs and lows of the U.S. session, and I also draw my draw London session zones and Asian session highs and lows, London session highs and lows, but it all depends on what type of asset you're trading. We're trading NQ, which is Nasdaq Nas 100, so it's a U.S. pair. So we should only be looking for U.S. session highs and lows. Okay, so you might be wondering, why do you have your candles different colors? Well, the red means that I'm in the U.S. session. The green candles means that I'm in the London session. The yellow candle means that I'm in the Asian session. Okay, it's just an indicator that I'd like to use to to tell me what type of session we in. Okay, so let's go. So this is the previous day U.S. session. So I already can see that this is the high of the U.S. session yesterday. Okay, and I like to draw my zone from the wick to the body. Okay, and I like to draw these zones. I like to have the color red. Okay, so this is my previous yesterday's U.S. session high. Okay, so once I mark that up, what I want to do is I want to look for my previous session low. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the low, which is down here. I like to draw the box from the wick to the body, and I have my previous U.S. session low. Okay, so now I got my two zones. I got my, you can basically say this is my supply and demand zones, okay? And after I draw my zones, after I, mark up my highs and lows of yesterday's US session, then I like to look at I like to break it down to the 5 minute. And this is also where I look for entries. I look for entries on the 5 minute and I also look for entries on the 1 minute, okay? So as you can see, we had a major, major, major buy today. Okay, and the reason why we had a major, major buys is because if you go back to the 4 hour, we're creating we're creating higher highs and higher lows. Okay, we're creating we're creating higher highs and higher lows. So going into today's session, we should be only be looking for buys. Okay, we should only be looking for buys. Okay, so that's why I like to look at the higher time frame, because when we break it down to the 5 minute, we can take the trade with the higher time frame trend. Okay, so again, I like to take trades on the 5 minute and the 1 minute chart. Okay, so after I draw my zones on the 1 hour, what I want to do is I want to also add my anchor VWAPs. Okay, and how to get that VWAP? All you got to do is just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels down, and you will see the anchor VWAP tool under volume base. So I got that favorite. And what I like to do is I like to add these anchor VWAPs at certain times in certain areas. And one of the areas that I like to have the anchor VWAP on is at the 8 a.m. candle, which is the start of U.S. session. And so what I would do is I would look for the the start of the U.S. session, which is 8 a.m. So I'm going to be looking for the 8 a.m. candle. Okay. In this case, right here is the 8 a.m. candle. So this is going to be my 8 a.m. anchor VWAP, and it's going to give me my VWAP here. So the VWAP basically just helps me to determine who's in control. When price is above a certain VWAP, that means buyers are in control. When price is below a certain VWAP, that means sellers are in control. And not only that, before I dive in deeper into this trade, you can have different types of VWAPs. And I recommend you check out Brian Shannon's book. He has a book on how to use the Anchor VWAP. And then also you can go on YouTube and type in Anchor VWAP. There's a bunch of videos on how to use Anchor VWAPs. But you can use the Anchor VWAPs in so many ways. Like, for example, on Forex Factory, um, it gives you, it basically tells you when there's news coming out, different type of fundamental data that's coming out. And today we had unemployment claims. Okay, we also had other news as well, but let's say that we're focused on the unemployment claims. Okay, what I would do is, well, before I go back to the chart, the unemployment claims came out at 8:30 a.m. So Eastern Standard Time. So what I would do is, when that news came out, what I would do is I would have a Pacific Anchor VWAP based on the unemployment claims. So what I would do is I would go over here to the left hand corner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels down, get my Anchor VWAP, and I will find the 8:30 candle to anchor my news VWAP, which is the unemployment claim. So I'm going to look for the 8:30 candle. This is the 8:30 candle right here, and I will also anchor that anchor VWAP there, and then I usually have the news VWAP yellow. And as you can see, boom, it's kind of like the 8 a.m. anchor VWAP, as you can see over here. If I go to the 8 a.m., it's kind of like there. It's kind of like the same pattern there, but I'm just trying to show you different ways on how to use the Anchor VWAP. So you can use the Anchor VWAP based on news. You can use the Anchor VWAP based on the start of U.S. session. You can use the Anchor VWAP based on the New York session the New York session, because you know the New York session starts at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, right? So I can also anchor have an Anchor VWAP at the 9:30 um, candle. So what I could do is look for the 9:30. This is when the New York session open. I can anchor that VWAP on the 9:30 candle, and usually I have that New York Anchor VWAP, the color blue. And as you can see, boom. All right. And then I'm gonna show you one more way that you can use the Anchor VWAP, and you can use this Anchor VWAP um, based on really anything. All right, you can base the Anchor VWAP based on certain important news, certain news events, certain things that happen in the world, weather. Like, you can use the Anchor VWAP in so many ways. Okay, now the other way that I like to use the Anchor VWAP is I like to use the Anchor VWAP when it comes to the start of week. So I will go ahead and find the Sunday, the start of week, basically when the market opens, basically of the first day of the week. So as you can see right here, the market opened on Sunday, the 22nd, right? So what I could do is I can anchor a VWAP here and have this as my start of week anchor VWAP. And usually I have it orange. Okay, so this is my start of week anchor VWAP. And this is the start of week anchor VWAP is good for swing traders. So if you want to swing trade, you can use these anchor VWAPs as support and resistance. As you can see, we got rejection here, we got some rejection here, we got some rejection here, but price was for the whole week, price was staying above this anchor VWAP. So you could have took some buys here, you could have took some buys here, and you could have took some buys here. Remember, when price is above the anchor VWAP, a certain anchor VWAP, that means the buyers are in control. When price is below the anchor VWAP, that means sellers are in control. Okay, now when you know the higher time frame, if you know that the weekly, the daily, and the 4 hours telling you that you should be buying, then you should only be looking for buys. All right. So in this case, this right here, this movement right here to the downside, this shouldn't trigger you. This shouldn't tell you that, oh, price is breaking the VWAP, we should be selling. No, if you know the higher time frame trend, then you know that price is most likely to go up. So what you want to do is you want to wait for price, even though price is going below, breaking the anchor VWAP and creating some lows here, you want to wait for price to close back above the anchor VWAP, and you could have made a lot of money based on that, based on knowing the higher time frame. Okay, so you could have took a trade here and you could have rolled this up and you could have caught some major pips or ticks. Okay, price actually went even higher than that. As price just going up and up and up and up, you could have made so much money, and it's crazy how much money you could have made. But let's talk about today's trade setup here. And in this trade setup, you can find this trade setup every other day. Every day, you just gotta make sure you look at the higher time frames to determine the market structure, what type of trend you're in, and also you gotta go on the 1 hour, draw your U.S. session highs and lows, and then once you draw your U.S. session highs and lows, you go to the 5-minute chart and you anchor the VWAP at the start of U.S. session, which is the 8 a.m. candle. Once you do that, let me make that white. And also you could have anchored the 9:30 anchor VWAP, which is the New York session anchor VWAP. Usually I have that blue, and that's how I use these anchor VWAPs. I use the session startup session anchor VWAP, and I use the 9:30 anchor VWAP. Okay. Now, since I know that the higher time frame is telling me that we should be buying, then I'm only looking for buys. So this right here, I'm not. This right here doesn't concern me. It's right now, and that current moment, it was creating lower lows, lower high, lower low. I don't care about this. All right. All I'm gonna do is just be patient and wait for price to close back above these anchor VWAPs, and then I'm gonna be looking for buy entries. I'm gonna be looking for buys. Okay, and this is a perfect example of this right here. So I would have got in the buy here. You could have put your stop here. You could have put your stop here, or down here, maybe down here, whatever. And you could have took this trade to the upside and made some really good money. All right, like you could have made, like, let's say that you did maybe one contract. You could have made $2,900 today on this one move. All right, you could have made $29 on this one move here, following this strategy. And not only that, without even having the anchor VWAPs on your charts, if you know basic market structure, if you go to the 15-minute here, or even the 30-minute, you know that price is gonna pull back into these zones. And all I'm gonna say this is that these zones that I be drawing on my chart, these U.S. session highs and lows, are like magnets. All right. So when price was all through London session, price was kind of going up, making some small bullish movements. But when the U.S. session opens, all I'm waiting for is price to pull back into the zone, my U.S. session high, my previous U.S. session high, pull back into the zone, and and all I'm waiting for is a rejection candle. Like this is a rejection candle. This is a rejection candle. When you see a candle like this, where there's long wicks right here, these are rejection candles right here. So you know that price price is more likely to start to reverse when you start seeing wicks like this. Okay, so you could without the VWAPs, you could have just wait for price to pull back up here, and then you could have just took the trade. All you're doing is just going with the higher time frame trend, and you're breaking it, going with the higher time frame trend and breaking it down to the lower time frame trend, so you can get in a perfect entry. And not only that, I have another tool here. I have a MACD here, right here. As you can see, price was going undersold here, as you can see. So if I get my vertical line here, as you can see, price was oversold right here. So this was a perfect buy entry when it comes to my strategy. Okay. Now, like I said, guys, if you guys want to be able to copy my trades automatically over to your account, I'm allowing people to copy my trades for 30 days for free. And after 30 days, you like the results you're getting, you like the results that you're making, the profits that you're making, then to continue to copy my trades is only a one-time fee of $500. All right, and then you'll be able to copy not only my futures trades, but I'm gonna also allow you to copy my forex trades. Okay, so I hope you got some value from this. If you did get some value, let me know in the comment section. Like, comment, and share. If you're watching this on Instagram, shoot me a DM. Let me know, hey Andre, I want to copy your trades. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, and share this video. Subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. But I'm allowing people to copy my trades automatically over to your account. And literally, you don't have to look at the charts. You don't have to do anything. You don't even have to know anything about Forex, futures, or anything. You can literally copy my trades, make money. All right. So with that being said, I'm Andre Cat, not here from West Palm Beach, Florida. I will see you guys on another video.